Hi folks, Glenn Twiddle here again in another of a series of frequently asked questions. Today's is a really good one. Today's is talking about when I need to expand my team to get to another level. How do I do it? Should I do it? And if I should, if it is a good idea, then how? And the answer is it is a great idea and you should do it. So let's get on to how we guess about it. I mean, it does depend a lot on what you enjoy doing. So first off, if you've been listening to some of these FAQs or any of my other training, you'd already know that I absolutely endorse outsourcing as much as you can. So you already should have a lot of those necessary, but let's say non-dollar productive activities outsourced. So normally the first hire that I suggest you make is an administerial PA. Someone to handle just that running around stuff that you shouldn't be doing anyway, the photocopying, preparation of your contracts, submitting of your advertising, just a PA that handles the stuff that you shouldn't be handling, that sort of thing. The next hire is, now oftentimes the first hire that an agent makes is for the least favourable thing they do, and they throw on someone into what they call prospecting, making outbound cold telemarketing calls. And look, that's valid, but it's probably not the first hire I would make. You're probably the first hire that you should make, other than your admin PA, certainly. One, maybe even two of those people. The next one that I've seen a lot of people successfully make is someone to run their buyers. Someone to run their buyers, for the first inspection that's not an open home. And that person should also be your assistant at your open home. So really one of the very, very first hires you should make is a part-time person who maybe eventually could become a full-time person, but a part-time person to assist you at open for inspections. And I'm going to make that a subject of another one of these talks. Even though someone hasn't specifically asked me that question, maybe that should be under a heading, what should be a frequently asked questions, because running brilliant open homes is necessary. So someone to help you at open homes, greet the people, do all that stuff. So, and that person then during the week could also run the buyers that can't get to the opens or can't get to other scheduled multiple people open for inspections where there's multiple buyers at one time. So if it's a buyer, if it's one at a time, and it's the first time that buyer has seen through the property, that's when a team may be able to do that, when a team member. The next one might be for the generating of new business. What I would suggest is that should be probably someone just to maintain your herd. Not necessarily to cold call, but if there were cold calls, they're not cold calls saying, hi, it's Mark here on behalf of Glenn Twiddle. Do you want to sell? No? Okay, see you later. It should be inviting people either to open for inspections that weekend or inviting them into your VIP club. And I've talked about the VIP club in other videos. Saying, something like, look, it's Mark here. I'm calling on behalf of the Glenn Twiddle team. I just want to let you know that as a further service to people in this area, we've organised discounts from a bunch of dozens of local businesses in this area that you would probably use anyway. And the fact is, by getting this little card, you can get a membership to that thing and get some discounts to that. The best being of which, you can get X, where X is your best deal that you've got from a local supplier, some description, coffees, whatever that might be, free stuff, whatever that is. Whoever wants access to your herd as well will give you some stuff, some discounts or some freebies, whatever. So you mention that. That way they're not calling saying, please, can we have a listing? They're calling saying, hey, we got something for you. Do you want it? And make it something that they would want, So that's a good hire to make. Someone to help you bring in new business, because what we're wanting to get and what we hopefully are starting to see is you being too busy doing the business that you don't have time to bring in the new business. So make sure that that's the case. And really, because there's very little in our business, in our industry, that you couldn't hire someone and pay them well to do, nearly all of it, including listing presentations. I tell you, you could find someone and you could pay them and pay them well and say your job description is to know this presentation backwards and have them so good they could even be better than you. and they could do all your listing presentations. And then you become the CEO of this whole system that just takes care of itself. You've got someone running the buyers, you've got a professional negotiator, you've got a professional listing presenter, all working in as a team with a marketing department back end that writes the ads, places the ads, run the ads, and you're the CEO of Team You. You know, You Inc., John McGrath calls it. And I tell you, that would be a very, very effective little unit. And again, look, I would suggest maybe not doing that without getting some further coaching, whether it's from me or some of the other great trainers that are out there. Take the steps, but those are some ideas of the first few hires that the only way, once you get to capacity, the only way you're going to grow your business is through automation, outsourcing, and hiring of key staff. So there's your tip for the day, folks, how to take your business to a new level, adding to your team. Do it. If you haven't got anyone yet, your first hire, like I said, should be an open for inspection assistant for the weekends, if you're doing the residential real estate thing, of course. Okay, hope that's answered your question for today. I hope it's been informative. We'll see you on another Frequently Asked Questions. I'm Glenn Twiddle. Bye for now.